Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Alberta's not-for-profit sector has a long history of delivering high-quality, efficient services to Albertans. But there's a lot of worry that the government's so-called compassionate cuts will have a big impact on not-for-profits. There's evidence they're attempting to take over rather than partner with certain programs that are delivered far more efficiently by the not-for-profit sector. Funding Alberta's not-for-profits is the most efficient way to deliver many services because it matches volunteers and donors with the comprehensiveness of government to the Premier. Will you commit to working with not-for-profits rather than taking a government-first approach?
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Of course I will commit to that. And in fact, I can also point to a record of exactly that ever since we've been elected, Madam Speaker. One of the first things that our government did when we was elected through the urgings of our Minister of Finance was to make a significant increase to FCSS funding, which of course, as the member opposite knows, is critical to many nonprofits across the province. So we've done that on that matter, and there's a raft of other ways in which we've worked closely with nonprofits, and we are pleased to do that because, of course, they contribute so much to the quality of life in our province, Madam Speaker.
Honourable member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, with respect, I think many food banks and school nutrition programs would disagree that it's not a government-first approach. One of Alberta's strengths is our ability to innovate, and innovation often means government working with partners to find new ways to deliver programs. But surprisingly, this government has continued the Conservatives' inflexible funding approach through AGLC, SIP and CFEP. This to the detriment of not-for-profits that want to innovate, collaborate and build capacity. Again to the Premier, will you commit to modernizing funding models to support innovation and collaboration in the not-for-profit sector?
Honourable Premier.
Well, Madam Speaker, we of course will always commit to work with nonprofits and to hear any concerns they have with respect to the efficacy of those programs for them. And we do work very, very closely with them. Last fiscal year alone, over 17,000 charities were licensed to carry out charitable gaming, for instance, in support of their communities, and they were able to raise in excess of $330 million, Madam Speaker. So a lot of this is working. In addition, we've increased our partnership with many of these organizations. We've increased funding to them in a number of different ways because we value the important work that they provide to Albertans across this province, and we want to continue to build on those relationships.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's not just the amount of money, it's how those organizations are restricted and how they can use the money. So more and more Albertans are turning to the not-for-profit sector to simply survive the largest economic downturn in our generation. Yet our constituency offices hear repeatedly that innovative project funding and funding applications continue to be denied. Now, I happen to know this finance minister knows a lot about this sector, so my last question will be to you. To the Minister of Finance, as you consider your compassionate cuts, how can the not-for-profit sector trust that future funding will support the most innovative, creative and effective programming?
Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. You know, we have a dedicated team at AGLC, and just today I announced the hiring and appointment of Alain Maisonneuve, a 30-year employee of AGLC and the board before that. He is dedicated to making sure that charities in this province get what they need as a result of their gaming activities, racinos and other kinds of things, Madam Speaker. We're going to continue to work with all of our partners to make sure they have what they need going forward to serve the citizens of this province.